it's Vas here from Metro Hobbies, and today we're going to be looking at one of the better beginner little radio control helicopters that you can get to learn how to fly. Okay, now when you get one of these out of the box, of course you get the little heli already set up and ready to go. You get the radio, which is set up in the mode 2, which is the throttle on the left. You get a spare set of main rotor blades, as well as a couple of little extra bits of Velcro here for some additional batteries that you might get. They do give you 4 AA batteries for the radio as well, which is really good. And then you have the battery for the heli, which is only a tiny little thing. And then you have a little USB charger in here as well. So pretty much everything that you need is in the box ready to go. And then of course there is the all-important user manual that I do recommend you read, because there are a couple of things in here that you do need to know in order to get the heli going. And I'll show you some of that a little bit later on. So what makes this little guy such a great little beginner heli? Well, compared to some of the other helicopters that are out there that are obviously a little bit bigger and they're probably a little bit more capable, this one's actually a little bit tougher. The landing gear is actually a little bit stiffer, which means you can take the odd hard landing a little bit better. The tail boom here is a little bit thicker as well, and it's also a square shape, which gives it a bit more rigidity. So it's not the most agile helicopter, but it is definitely one of the better ones for learning for that purpose. On top of that, you do get a spare set of main rotor blades. So if you do happen to smack into the curtains or whatever, you've got those spare blades there to help you out. Now, underneath, of course, it's all very small, it's all very, micro, so you do need to take a little bit of care when handling this guy. The canopy comes off just by pulling the sides of it here. It's got these little rubber O-rings around where the canopy clips on. So that's the little canopy there that just pops off, and then you'll see that there's really not much to it. You got the bigger motor here, which is the main blade motor. So that's that guy there, and then you got a couple of little servo motors on there as well to sort of make everything work. And then there's another one back here as well for the tail rotor. Now you'll notice that there's a little bit of a Velcro strip right on the front here. The antenna is kind of sticking out right at the front of the heli, and then the battery kind of sits very snugly just on top of the Velcro here that sort of clips on. And then there's a couple of dots just on the side there, a black and red dot, and then you just match that up to the wires when you plug in your battery in, and then away you go. So you do need to handle this with a little bit of care, and just make sure that you don't jam up the gears or anything like that when you're handling it, and then very gently put the canopy back on, and then you're pretty much ready to go. So essentially that's how the heli all gets set up. Okay, so before you take off, if you try to use the heli as it is, as you can see, there's no throttle. The heli, once it's plugged in, it is by default unarmed. So you actually have to arm the heli. It's a nice, cool little safety feature that the helicopter has got. So in order to arm the heli, you have to basically have your throttle all the way down and just push it all the way to the right. And you'll see that the light on the heli starts blinking rapidly. That means that it's ready to go. Once it's set, you're good to go. So you've got throttle. But if you leave it on idle like this for more than 10 seconds, it will disarm itself again, and you will need to rearm the heli. Just something to keep in mind, because I know a lot of people take it out of the box, they plug it in, and they give it throttle and it doesn't work. You actually need to arm it first. Okay, so this here is our dual rate button. So one press, you'll hear a double beep. That means that it's in high rates. And one beep means that it's in low rates. So essentially this changes the sensitivity of the heli. On low rates, it's fairly standard and fairly sort of docile. On high rates, it's going to be a lot more agile and fly a little bit faster. I really like these helis. These are really nice little tough little guys. They're nice and small. They're good for indoors, even if you have a small space. You can fly these outdoors as well, but you do want to make sure that it's a little bit calm. I mean, these are still running brushed motors and they're the most powerful heli. And as I said, they're not super agile. So if you go out there and it's a little bit gusty, you might find it might go over the neighbor's fence or something like that. So just be a little bit mindful. Practice inside first, and then when you're a bit more confident and you can handle it, you can go outside a little bit when it's a bit calmer. Okay, so there we go. That's the Blade 70S. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this little video and a bit of a showcase on a great little beginner heli. If you did, please be sure to hit that thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new, and be sure to check out the video description. We'll have links in there to the heli, spare batteries and so forth. And feel free to leave a comment as well if you wish. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll speak to you all next time. Blah, 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 blah.